Hi guys, welcome to the second episode of my introvert diaries. We are going to welcome my dog in the background right here with her pillow. She loves to grab pillows when I talk to the camera. I can't stop her from doing that as much. First off, I just want to ask, did you guys like the new intro? I'm only going to be using that for my introvert diaries. Also, there are buses coming around. I can't stop that either. I live on a busy road. It's challenging when you film with that stuff, but I can't stop it. So that's okay. Yeah, I worked really hard on the intro, so I hope you guys liked it. And again, I'll only be using it for my introvert diaries because it sort of represents, like, these introvert diaries, I never explained it, but they're sort of representing, like, again, what it's like to be an introvert. It's really hard to show that you're an introvert on social media because if you're on social media, you're talking, you're expressing yourself, you're showing your life probably. It's really hard to show that you're to yourself because when you post on social media, it's like, I don't know, you just seem outgoing. And so when I made my video about the fact that I'm an introvert, a lot of you guys probably didn't know that because it's really hard to express it on camera. Like, you're probably watching me right now, like, you don't look like you're not social at all because I'm talking to you. You don't see me in my day-to-day life when I'm keeping to myself, really. If I'm vlogging, I'm talking. So anyways, with that, I wanted to make kind of like a little series that I can at least try to show a little bit of what it's like to be an introvert, and not even just to show like my experience, but to help other people and other introverts know that they're not alone. And in this specific video, I'm going to be talking about how I've been learning to not care about what other people think of me, because especially introverts are sort of looked down on because it's not considered normal. Like, we are considered weird. You may have even been told that you're weird. Even extroverts that may watch this video, they can take something from this video as well, because I think to everyone to some extent in life deals with the fear of being perceived the wrong way, or losing a friend because they didn't like you, or if you got bullied in high school, or whatever it is. Like, there's always someone in our lives that doesn't like something about us, and that's okay. It's also okay to care what people think. Like, you're never gonna be able to stop caring what people think. The reason why we care about how others perceive us is because we want to be liked, and it's okay to want to be liked. Who doesn't want to be liked, right? So I want you to first know, like, if you struggle with caring what other people think, don't like beat yourself up for that. I've struggled with it too. I still struggle with it sometimes. It's never going to be something that you just stop doing, but there's ways to get better with it and sort of learn how to deal with it, and also how to use it to your advantage. I just realized this is sort of like podcast style, but it's not a podcast, but it's like sit down. This isn't a vlog or anything, but let me know if I should make a podcast sometime. Not probably anytime in the future, but maybe sometime. I don't know. Anyways, just to say that when it comes to our perception, we all have a different perception. Have you ever been in like an argument with someone and you realize that you both were like, you just misunderstood each other because you both looked at it differently? That's the same thing when you're, for example, wearing an outfit or something. You might like your outfit, but somebody else might not. But that doesn't mean that you're wrong or that they're right. Honestly, I feel like none of us truly know what's right and wrong. It's all based on our upbringing and what we've been taught, because when we were born, we knew nothing, right? So we're taught things. Everyone's, again, perception of what's right and wrong, what's cool, what's not cool is different because it's what they've been taught. So none of us truly know. If we think something's good, then we think something's good, but it doesn't mean that we're 100% right, because nobody truly fully knows. And I think there's comfort in that, knowing that if someone doesn't like your outfit, it doesn't mean that they're right. If you like it, that's all that should matter. Like, who cares what they think? You're still going to fear, of course, again, you want people to like your outfit, but not everyone will. And that's just an example. But the main point is everyone's perception is different. So when it comes down to like introvert, extrovert, I have been, I guess, in a way judged or looked down upon because I'm different. Not everyone knows what being an introvert is like. Either they're not an introvert themselves, or they just haven't been around people who are. So they look at it as, well, okay, that's different. I don't really like that, because they're not used to it. They're not informed or educated on what being an introvert is. So that's something that helped me when I was going through a bunch of friendships in my life that ended because of who I am. I'm an introvert. I'm quiet, not as outgoing. I took it personally at first until I realized that, okay, they just don't get it. And so it's frustrating when people don't understand you and get you because you want people to, but I've come to realize you can explain yourself all you want, At the end of the day, if they just don't get it, they don't get it. And that's okay. It's not a personal thing. Unless they're making it a personal thing, and that's a whole separate story. But, and just in general, like, if they don't get it, they don't get it. It's their perception. It's their understanding. And everyone's understanding of things is different. And also, I think something that, when it comes to, like, using it to your advantage, yeah, it's okay sometimes to care what people think. Just use it to your advantage so you don't view it in a negative way. If someone tells you they don't like you, you should be happy that you know that. Like, if someone doesn't like me, I would want to know, because I'm not about to sit here and be friends with someone that doesn't like me, doesn't want to be friends with me. I ain't playing that fake game, and I would hope they wouldn't be either. So if they don't like me, I would want them to tell me. So if someone tells you, I don't like your outfit, I don't like you, I don't want to be your friend, be thankful that they told you that. You're allowed to be upset. Feelings are valid, but don't let it affect you so much that you think that it's like a personal attack when it's not. Because it's okay to have a preference. Like, for me, there's people that I know that I know deep down are good people, but they're not the type of friend I want to have. And it doesn't mean that anything is wrong with them. It just means that they're not who I want in my life. Let's say you're like the 5 people that you're around. Like, I'm very picky about who I'm friends with, and I'm very picky about who I'm in a relationship with. So no, I'm not going to be friends with everyone, and that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with them. I just personally do not want to be around certain people. When you flip it like that in your head, like, okay, the same goes for other people. There's other people that wouldn't want to be my friend because I'm just not the type of friend that they like to have around. It doesn't mean anything is wrong with me. And for the longest time, I thought that when people didn't want to be my friend for something, I thought something was wrong with me, because I was like, well, if you don't want to be my friend, then obviously something's wrong with me, because why, like, if nothing was wrong with me, then you'd want to be my friend. That's not, like, you're lying to yourself. You're literally gaslighting yourself when you do that. And I did for so long. Nothing is wrong with you. It's just other people's preferences, and they're allowed to have their preferences. You can put the most basic example to it. If someone were to lay out a watermelon and a strawberry on the counter. Okay, if you like both, whatever. But let's just say you're in the mood for watermelon. Me, I'm always in the mood for watermelon. It doesn't mean that the strawberries are bad. You just prefer watermelon. So think of it like that. It's not a personal thing. We are allowed to have different preferences. Also, another thing, when people let you in on, like, their preferences, and if they like you, if they don't like you, all that sort of stuff, it's good to know that, because it gives you insight as to, like, the type of person they are, and if you would even want to be friends with them in the first place based on how they're letting you in on their preferences. Because some people can do it in a really cruel, mean way, but it just gives you insight as to the type of person they are, how their brain is wired, how, like, their upbringing, just keep that in mind. For so long, I grew up, and I sometimes still struggle with this, I was very insecure growing up because I let how other people thought of me and their opinions to be more important than my own. It's like I couldn't trust my own judgment of who I was, my clothes, like the outfits. I like to wear, if you know me, I'm wearing like loose clothing. I love to wear t-shirts, shorts, and you'll pretty much never ever see me in jeans unless there's like just a certain outfit that needs jeans, but even then I'm probably gonna find something else. I like loose clothing because it makes me comfortable, and some people think that like you dress like a hobo every day when you do that. That's fine, that's their judgment, but it doesn't mean that I'm doing anything wrong. If I'm comfortable in it, why would I let their opinion stop me from wearing what makes me comfortable? So same with being an introvert. If someone thinks that being an introvert is stupid or weird, or that, they want to like get me to become an extrovert, that's not gonna fly, because that's not me. I actually used to be an extrovert. That was one of my other videos. I used to be an extrovert. So I know what it's like to be on the side of being social and outgoing, and I still can be pretty social and outgoing if I'm around people I'm close with. But for the most part, I'm to myself, quiet, introvert, and I'm allowed to be one. Just because people might think of me differently doesn't mean that I'm doing anything wrong or that I'm a bad person. Honestly, I think too, because I used to be an extrovert, my personality has been perceived, or like received, I think that's the right word, in so many different ways. Because I can get in my outgoing social moods, again, when I'm around people I'm close with, and I feel like some people perceive me as annoying because it's like I don't shut up. If I'm close with you, I want to FaceTime all the time. I want like call, text, I want to hang out. When I find people that I love being around, I don't ever shut up. And so that can be perceived as annoying. But then another person I might not be super close with, I'm like really, if I'm not close with you, then I'm quiet, point blank. Because I know how I am when I'm close to someone. I'm super social, but if I'm not close with you, I'm keeping it to myself a little bit. Like, we can still be friends if you'll accept me, but I'm keeping it to myself. Anyways, also social battery is another thing. Like, I could be close with someone, but just not be social all the time. Anyways, that's a whole different thing. But where was I even going with that? Oh yeah, so opposite of like some people think I'm annoying, some people think that I'm like rude because I don't ever talk. You know what I mean? I feel like there's no balance sometimes, but that, you know, it's been received in so many different ways that I feel like every friendship I have is different. I mean, it's gonna be different anyways, but how people perceive me is different because my energy like gets brought out in different ways depending on who I'm closer with. But again, I can't control the way people think of me. If people think I'm annoying, okay, they think I'm annoying. It doesn't mean that I am. They just think that I am. If they think I'm rude, it doesn't mean that I am. I like to think of myself as not rude. I know I have my times where I can say something mean and I don't mean it, but you know, I feel like to my face, it's just like my RBF. I don't look like a person that's like super kind probably because my face, I feel like I just look mad all the time. It's just, I'm not like sitting like smiling. I remember one time I literally tried, like people commented on it so much, they're like, what's wrong? Like, why are you mad? Is something wrong? I'd be like, no, this is my face. Or like, especially when I'm focusing on something, I'm like, I don't even know if I can do it like literally right now, but you get my point. I tried changing it. One time I actually looked up online like how to fix an RBF, and I tried and I tried and tried and I couldn't. Like one day I just gave up. I'm like, you know what, it's just who I am. And it's true, it is who I am. If people think I'm mad, people think I'm mad. Talk to me. I'm probably not mad. Now, I could be. I don't see my RBF as much as they do unless I'm looking in the mirror, but it's just a part of who I am. Nothing wrong with that. But that's another thing. When you want to be liked, it's easy to change who you are to be liked. If someone doesn't like your outfit, it's easy to change the way you look. Style, cut your hair. It's easy to change the way you look. It's easy to just be a certain person that you're not in order to be liked. And that is out of the fear of rejection. That's what you're doing. You're afraid to be rejected, so you're changing who you are to influence their perception of you. It doesn't mean that it will, but it could. You could influence their perception of you. Because I had sort of been taught and told that being an introvert was weird, again, I let how other people thought of me, their opinions, to change how I felt. And so I was like, oh, you know what, you're right. It's like I tried forcing myself to be more outgoing, to be more social. I have my times where I am, like I said, when I'm outgoing, like I'm outgoing, but that's not the case all the time. And sometimes I feel like I'm in certain social settings or situations where I feel obligated to be more outgoing when I'm actually not outgoing right now. That kind of has to do with the whole social battery thing too. I could be outgoing 1 hour and then the next hour I'm not. But when I wasn't outgoing and in like a mood to be super social, I sometimes felt like I had to force myself to be and to like almost kind of, I don't know, just be more extroverted in a way, I guess you could say, when that's not who I am. And I did that out of the fear of being rejected. I didn't want people to look at me as an introvert and be like, yeah, I don't want to be friends with her. And so what would I do? Try to be more outgoing. Try to force myself to make them happy. And forcing yourself to be someone you're not is way more exhausting than just dealing with the fact of not being liked. It's so much more work. You might as well just not be liked and get over that so much quicker than like trying to force yourself to be someone you aren't, because you're only going to hurt yourself in the end. Also, because you can't control people's perception of you, even if you do try to influence it, it still doesn't mean that it's going to change their opinion. Just keep to yourself. It's so much easier to do that. You know, they say if you're starting a YouTube channel, like, be yourself. Yeah, I know they say it over and over again, but it's true. All like over 400 of you wouldn't have subscribed to me, 2,000 on my other channel, if you didn't see something in me that you liked. So the reason I have that many people, to me, that I mean, if 2,400 something people watch my house right now, then you wouldn't fit. That's a lot of people. Okay, I know it's not like the 1 million subscribers thing, but it doesn't matter. The number doesn't matter to me. It's just more like, wow, like that many people liked me enough or that many people saw something in me that they resonated with, so they hit subscribe. That means a lot, so thank you if you're one of them. But the reason I was able to have you guys here subscribed is because I stayed true to who I was. I'm not trying to put on this show and be someone I'm not on YouTube like I know other creators are. I am a smaller channel and I feel like it is harder for me to grow because I'm staying true to who I am. I'm not like putting on makeup so that you guys will say I'm pretty. I already know I am. I don't need makeup to be pretty, and some people are taught that that's what you need. Sure, makeup looks really good. I'm going on a rant right now. Makeup does look good, and whenever I do have my days where I have makeup on, I look really good. But I don't need it. I don't need it to be accepted. That goes with anything. Again, back with the whole trying to be outgoing around friends, it's because I thought that being a little bit quiet or like just listening more or keeping to myself was rude. Like I thought that they would think that I'm being rude if I do that, if I take some time to myself, if I don't engage in the conversation as much. Another thing, I'm horrible with small talk. So if we're having small talk, forget that. I can't do that. I hate it and I'm bad at it. But that's besides the point. The point is that I thought I was rude for being who I was, for accommodating my own needs. And I had to learn and I had to rewire my brain into realizing that I'm not being rude. As long as I am staying true to who I am not being rude. I tried so hard for so many years to not lose people. Like, I would do anything to not lose someone. If they, again, didn't like something about me, I would try my absolute hardest to change it. It's just almost like I was depending on them more than I was myself, which is like the worst thing you can do. You need to depend on yourself before others. And even though I do still struggle with the fear of abandonment or rejection, losing people, all that stuff, because I've spent so much time alone, it's easier to get over the sadness of losing someone. Like, sure, if you lose a friend, for example, that's hard no matter what, but you get over the sadness so much easier when you know how to be alone. And it's like you build a tolerance to it almost. So with that, if someone doesn't like me, if someone doesn't want to be my friend, whatever the case is, I deal with that and I move on. I don't run back to them. I used to do that. That's another thing. When I would lose a friend, I would like try to, again, figure out a way to make it work, to whatever. Some people you're just not meant to be friends with because everyone has a different preference. Everyone has certain standards, boundaries, etc. I don't run back to people anymore. I don't. If we're not working in each other's life, then we're not. Maybe we will one day, like maybe our lives will like align one day, but if it's not right now, it's not right now. God's in control of that, not me. I'm not running back to you. You wanna know why? Because I know how to be alone. I don't need you. Anyone that I've ever been friends with that I've lost, sure, at the time I wanted to be friends. If I lost, well, yeah, if I lost them, I'm good now. You can miss what you had, but you can't dwell in it forever. That's not fair to you. So that's one plus of being an introvert that I've learned. You know, again, I went from extrovert and introvert, is ever since becoming an introvert, I've noticed that I don't like beg for people to come back to me anymore, which is something I really struggled with, and that helps so much. So when you beg for people to come back in your life, I feel like it stirs like more. I feel like it makes you just hurt more, especially if they say no. So it's one little plus for the introverts out there. But extroverts can learn how to do that too. It's just a little bit harder because extroverts do depend on people socially more than introverts do, and that's what makes that challenging. I know, because I was an extrovert. But anyways, I'm gonna try to wrap this up here. Again, I know it's easier said than done to not care what people think, and again, if you do, like I said, that's okay. You just have to learn how to make it a more positive experience than a negative one. The second you decide to be who you are and to not try to change who you are to make other people happy, you will notice that you start to find your people. Like the second I started like opening up about being an introvert, I'm already on my way to attract friends who also are like me, or who will at least understand me enough to accept me. Like, I'm not saying that I'm only gonna have introvert friends. I have plenty of extrovert friends. They just accept me for who I am and respect my boundaries and don't take it personally. But again, everyone has different preferences. Like, some people just don't want to be friends with introverts. That's fine. That's just a preference. But the second I start showing people who I am and not trying to be someone I'm not, that gives them the fair chance to accept me for who I am. Because who am I to sit here and be like, nobody likes the real me, if I never show them the real me? They can't ever get a chance to love you for who you are, who you truly are, if you never show them who you truly are. That's just not fair. So the second you be who you are, the second you stop caring what other people have to say about you, and you start trusting your own judgment and your own opinion about how your hair looks, the shoes you're wearing, the outfit you're wearing, who you are inside, is the second you'll attract other people who will accept you for who you are. Do not let other people's opinions of you stop you from doing what makes you happy, and not just what makes you happy, but being happy. I know it's hard. It's really hard in the beginning, and if you're in the stage of life where you just like can't trust your own judgment, it's not impossible. You have to take time, but you have to be patient with yourself. Look in the mirror. For example, I keep doing the outfit thing, but like again, if you look in the mirror and you're going to like a party or a sleepover or whatever, and you love your outfit, and then whoever you're hanging out with criticizes that outfit, do not change that outfit. Do not ever wear that outfit again, because you liked your outfit and you said that before they even saw it. So why are you gonna let their opinion of your outfit change how you view your outfit? That goes with anything. If you like a certain food and somebody doesn't like it, don't stop eating that food. You like the food. Who cares what they think? That's their opinion. It's your opinion for a reason, and it's their opinion for a reason. Don't let their opinion change yours. All right. That is all I have. I know it was a little bit long, but thank you for listening. Again, it was kind of like a little podcast. I'm just sitting here. I've been listening to too many podcasts, so I was feeling like really inspired to sort of make a video opening up a little bit about just being perceived, because again, as an introvert, I have struggled with this, and even when I was an extrovert, I struggled with things too. Everyone does. Everyone struggles with perception. So I hope this helped you in some way. I hope you learned something from it, got something from it, whatever. Send it to a friend who you think needs to hear this too, and I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye!